All right, welcome to season 2 of No Shelf Control, the podcast of books, booze, and banter, hosted by authors for readers. Because let's face it, we are all bookworms at heart.
This season, we'll be chatting about book-to-screen adaptations and trending BookTok books. I'm Lindsey Sparks.
And I'm Lindsey Pogue. Grab a cocktail, kick back, and enjoy the show. So welcome to this episode tonight / morning, afternoon, depending on when you're listening.
Whenever you're listening.
It is a dark, at least where I am, Wednesday evening. So
it is also a dark Wednesday evening.
I was going to say, is it even Wednesday? I guess I should double check on the calendar.
Because we are in the same time zone.
Yeah. So anyways, we are winding down the evening. It is
winding.
Oh. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What are you drinking? Let's just dive
Red
into
wine.
that. We'll come back. Yeah, there you go. Nice. We'll kind of jump back and forth. I have I'm going like for, I don't even know.
What is that?
This is an absolute, this is something I grabbed for camping like 3 weeks ago, and it was in my fridge. It's an absolute grapefruit paloma, which is usually a tequila. It's a grapefruit and tequila drink. But this is grapefruit and
vodka,
I guess so, with a little lemon flavor. So cheers.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. And nothing was really like jumping out at me, so I just grabbed something quick from the fridge.
Red wine is always jumping out at me.
I know. Well, I'm drinking less these days, so I was like, if I open a bottle of wine, then it's just going to sit in there because I'm also leaving for the retreat soon. So
yeah. Oh no, I'm the same way in terms of drinking less and really thinking about when I open a bottle of wine, because then I'm like,
how long is it going to sit there? Yeah.
I'm like, it's a good bottle of wine. I don't want it to go bad.
Yeah. I feel you. 100%. But before we get too into the fun things, we should probably discuss what we're talking about tonight in case people do not know.
Right. Yes. You do need an intro.
Welcome to this episode tonight, Team Lindsey. We are going to be talking about BookTok sensation book Hooked by Emily McIntire. We have seen this cover. Well, I don't have it.
Do you have it? I can grab it.
I don't have a physical, no.
Oh, I do. Hold on.
All right.
Here it is.
Ooh. Okay, so Hooked by Emily McIntire. This is a book that we have seen the cover all over the place, plastered all over Amazon and all over TikTok and BookTok. So we wanted to give it a whirl. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Since you have the physical copy in your hand and it was not handy, I have a feeling you didn't actually read the paperback.
No, I listened to the audiobook. Oh, it has a playlist.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, for people on the video.
Oh, I think I might have known that because I read the ebook version.
Yeah.
So I think I actually did know that.
It's not nearly as long as my playlists. Mine are like 2 pages in the books.
Oh, man. Well,
there's an author's note too. Okay. So I'm going to read the author's note just so people know.
Okay.
This does have a warning. Which is, Hook contains sexually explicit scenes as well as mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. Reader discretion is advised.
He didn't say that in the right voice. Reader discretion is advised.
Reader discretion is advised. So, yeah. And like, I don't know if she has trigger warnings listed anywhere, but
she does on her website. Can I just, okay, I know we're getting off topic, but I just have to say this. So this whole trigger warning thing, I know it's
still going on?
It's
been on anywhere.
Yeah. It's a thing now. Everybody expects them, and I get that, fine, whatever. But I just have to say, I feel like when you write a specific genre, it kind of comes with the expectation that shit's going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
When I think about dark romance, it's not nice and pretty in a bow. Like, it's dark and dangerous, and it's the stuff that, you're not supposed to talk about. That's why they're making those discreet covers now. It's like, why do you need trigger warning? Okay, I know I'm going to get backlash for that. But anyway, hear me out. So as a post-apocalyptic author, where everybody's dying and the world is ending, I feel like you can go into that knowing that there's going to be cursing and there's going to be death. So I feel like
I feel like there's There are certain things where it's just like a blanket, like just accept that for the genre. But there's other things like I really appreciate now at this point in my life trigger warnings for miscarriage and child death, because those things are very personal to me, and they do cause like a traumatic response inside of my body. So I think I do understand like that people have different responses, and like I get it.
Yeah, and I understand that too. And I mean, it's hard for me. Like I've been through some shit, but I also don't really feel like I have triggers. So I also feel like I can't really relate to that. But at the same time, I also know that if I'm going into a specific genre that I can assume, I mean, maybe not very specific things like maybe like a miscarriage, that is something that's a little more specific, you know, but if it's the end of the world and there's cursing and children are dying,
and
like
violence.
What did you think was going to happen? Like, So I don't know. I have like, I'm very mixed feelings about it. And again, I know that's very controversial, but, and I'm not one of those people that like, I 100% like, I don't want to offend anybody, obviously, but there's also only so much that it's like, now I literally have like all of my descriptions from now on and be like, trigger, if you want the trigger warning, go to my website. Like, yeah. Even though we all know everyone's going to die, like, you know, or whatever. I don't know.
I think Song of Scarabs and Fallen Stars is the only one. Well, that one deserves its trigger warnings, but that one is the only one I have that has like the content warning within an author's note at the beginning of the book. But I didn't do one for Song of the Soulless. Was that the one I just did? Blood of the Broken. I didn't do one for that. Maybe I should have. I know, but it's hard, I figured like people were already at 5, but I mean, and yeah, I don't know. It's really hard.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. Anyway, it was just something that came up today. And so I was talking to my PA and I said, maybe I should just put a very generic thing like this book is about the end of the world.
Yeah.
There is adult content. Yeah. Please assume
I mean, I really like this. Hook contains sexually explicit scenes as well as mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. Reader discretion is advised. Yeah. Like that's great. And there's like specific stuff in here that I would be like, you know, that might trigger some people. But
you know, like I said, you can go to her website and she lists out whatever books and actually every single thing. So okay. Yeah. I just keep seeing all these videos on TikTok about how it's the author's responsibility to warn the reader, but then it's the reader's responsibility to go in and to, if it's not explicitly stated what they are, then it's their job to go figure it out. But then that also puts it back on the author to go explicitly list them somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of this whole Anyway, we can move on from that. But so we back to the introduction. We were gonna read and discuss this sensation book that we've been seeing this cover for all over the place. So we wanted to check it out. And you've had the paperback for a while, right? So
I think I got it sometime in the spring, like March.
Yeah. I've been seeing it around, but I didn't really know much about it. But now that I'm kind of in the retellings, I wanted to check it out. But let's be very clear, because she states very clearly in her description that it is not a retelling, which
it was very much. I mean, and I'm sure this is something we can talk about more when we get to the book discussion. Yeah, but it was very much like inspired by, like, took inspiration from.
Yeah. So anyways, but before we dive too much into that book, we talked about what we are drinking already. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Your red wine?
No, it's
Pinot, Merlot, Cab. What are you drinking?
I actually don't know what it is. I know it's from Alexandria Nicole.
Blend. No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
I think it might be a blend. It is exceptionally dark. So my teeth are probably going to turn purple throughout the podcast.
So vampire blood. That's all you had to say.
Yes, delicious.
Okay, so hump day, what are you working on? Other than what I just alluded to, which makes anyway, that's a different show. Despite what we read, that's a different show.
I am working on currently. Oh, this is really exciting. Actually, I started the outline. So the beginning of the week, I have been finishing listening to the audiobook of Song of Scarabs and Fallen Stars in preparation to write book 2. And I wanted to be like fully fresh on it. And so I was like doing a bunch of AI art while I was listening, because I need to like be able to, I need to be doing something while I'm
otherwise
like,
you stare at the wall. It's weird.
Yeah, I need to like be, usually I'm like doing dishes or going for a walk or driving. That's like my favorite. But yeah, so I've been doing sitting at my computer doing AI art. Night cafe is the best. But I came up with some great versions I've been sharing with Patreon, some great visualizations of the Netra Oasis from the Echo World group of series, the Echo trilogy, Catwalk Chronicles, and the Fateless trilogy. And then also some, I posted, I don't know, a week or two ago, some artwork of Lex, who's the main heroine of the Echo trilogy, but she appears in the other series as well. But and then I've been working on a lot for Atum, who's the hero in the Fateless trilogy. And so it's been really fun. It is like pulling teeth to get the AI to make people who don't look terrifying, but I've been getting there. Got some good ones. I still need to retouch a lot of them before I share them like publicly. So that's why stuff is just in Patreon atmosphere or whatever.
Fun
ecosystem. So yeah. But anyway, that was what I was doing the past 2 days. Then today I actually started the outline. And it was just, I feel like every time I start a book, have this weird feeling of like, I don't even know what it's going to be. Like, I don't know. Where am I even going to start? And then I like get going. And then all of a sudden the day is over and I'm like, I've got a story and it's cool and I like it and I'm excited. But it's like, it's so weird, like starting the day and being like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Am I going to have it this time?
Yeah, I can relate. I mean, I think that's just how our brains work.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, so now I'm excited about tomorrow and really like filling in the in between plot points and stuff. I've got like the main big ones all done, and I've got all my like big long list of fun, cool scenes that I want to like shoehorn in places.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm excited. And I had an amazing shower brainstorm like 2 hours ago, and I like epiphanied the ending of the series, and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense and it's really cool. So I was really excited about that.
And it's only 3 books, right?
It's only 3 books. So
so that you're essentially what you're telling us is you didn't actually know how it was going to end until
I did know how it was going to end. I didn't know how it was going to get there.
Got it. Okay.
So that was what I figured out, was the mechanism.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
I was like,
I
feel like I felt like I had like world built myself into a corner to make it impossible. But
nice.
Yeah. Found a being powerful enough.
That's very cool.
Yeah. What about you?
So, oh my God, this week. So I feel like I am doing all the things except for anything that I really want to do. You know, like the brainstorming is fun, you know. And the writing is fun, and you know, I'm taking a break from that, and now that I've told myself I'm taking a break, I want to do it, of course, before I wanted a break. I think for me, really though, like honestly, it's trying to do all these things before I leave, because on Sunday I leave for a week for a retreat, my annual retreat with Anne Geaver and Camille Picot, which we did last year. I went to the East Coast, and this year Anne came here. She's already here. She's not like physically here at my house. She's on the West Coast, and we're all meeting up in wine country, and we're going to be in a nice fun house for a week, and we're going to be writing and walking and cooking and drinking and doing all the things, business planning and stuff. So anyways, but I'm trying to get, I obviously can't be working on all the things that I sit at my desk and work at. So I've been trying to just get so much taken care of before I leave, because I also have a book release a couple weeks after I come back. So just a lot going on, you know, and we have stuff going on with the Ending Legacy, and
we're gonna have a cover reveal in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so I just have a lot of stuff. So just trying to get some things taken care of before I leave. But I did have a really fun meeting with somebody on Monday about my super secret project, and I'm going to be outlining that during the retreat as well.
Ooh,
as
fun.
Doing some just a few tweaks and revisions to Land of Fury, which I got back from my alpha reader, who told me that it needs more steam. So I'm like, okay, if you really think so, I guess that's not like that's not bad feedback. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to start working on my read through for that, and add some of that in too. So anyway, yeah, just I'm just trying to get my mind at ease here so that I can be gone for a week and focus on the things that I plan on focusing on, you know. So anyway, but yeah, that's essentially what I've been working on. What about reading? Have you been able to read anything other than podcast stuff?
Besides Song of Scarabs and Fallen Stars?
Yeah.
No. I'm probably not going to start anything until so I think I'm on book 4. I need to start book 4 of The Hollows by Kim Harrison. Or book 5. I can't remember. But whatever one is the next one from whatever the last one was that I finished. It's either 4 or 5. Maybe it's 5. I don't know. Anyway. But I'm gonna wait till I'm probably a week or two until I'm fully enmeshed in this book to split my brain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I have been kind of all over the place, but I was able to somehow, and not even an audiobook, guys. I finished a hardcover in 2 days.
Ooh.
This is one of the cutest books. Cutest books.
Really?
It was so good. I recommend it to everybody. So The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Hazelwood.
That's another BookTok book.
Yeah, it is. And I really, really liked it. It's super quirky and smart and silly, and just a really fun, fast read. I really enjoyed it. I've already devoured the audiobook of her second book that came out, which is still good, but I didn't like it as much. So
is it a different couple?
Yeah. It's a whole other story. It's all sciencey though, because she is a scientist. So you can it's just all very smart, quirky, dorky people. I just love it. It's just really cool and fun. I think you would probably like it too. It's kind of like a feel good. This one's really fun because it's like a fake dating, but he's also like this really hated professor, and she's like this really quirky grad student, and
so there's a professor-student relationship.
Yeah, except for he's not her professor. So, but he's her best friend's professors, and they hate him. So it's really hilarious when they're like, "You've been dating him," and she's like, "Oh." Anyway, it's super cute. So yeah, so I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I devoured that. I don't know the last time I read a hardcover book, and I read it in 2 days. So
that's fun.
Like, yeah, you know me, I don't sleep good. So instead of just tossing and turning for 3 hours in the middle of the night, I was like, I'm up, I'm gonna read. So I stopped reading in the middle of the night with my little like what do they call it? My salt lamp was on. So anyway, moving on. None of that is important. Okay. All right. So moving into book stuff, unless you have anything else you want to check in about. We good? I guess we should take this opportunity to say that we do have Ending World announcements and goodies coming up. So everybody should keep their eyes out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think before we record the next episode, there will probably be 2 cover reveals.
Yeah, right? Maybe. Definitely something, guys. Keep your eyes out.
Or around the time that we record the next episode. Like
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Yes.
Okay. So again, tonight we are talking about Hooked by Emily McIntire. I'm going to read the blurb. Please note that as we move forward, we're going to be talking about the book.
Spoilers.
So, spoilers. I feel like we need a sound, but I'm not educated or what do you call it? Sophisticated enough to know how to do that with technology. Anyway, so Hooked. And do we know is this I know that there's multiple books in this series. I don't know if this is actually the first one or not, but I know you don't have to read them in order as far as I know.
Okay.
Does it say on the book you have in front of you?
It says a Never After novel.
But okay, so it's probably just one.
I know it's like a series of villain romances.
Yeah.
To which I would say, is he really the villain in this story?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
But let me look it up to see what the rest of the series.
All right. I'll go ahead and read it and you can look it up. All right. So Hooked. He wants revenge, but he wants her more. James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James' bar, he sees his way in. Seduce the girl and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James' organization begin to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find the traitor in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. Wendy has been cloistered away most of her life by her wealthy, cold father, but a spontaneous night out with friends turns into an intense and addictive love affair with a dark and brooding James. As much as she knows James is dangerous, Wendy can't seem to shake her desire for him. But as their relationship grows more heated and she learns more about the world he moves in, she finds herself unsure if she's falling for the man known as James or the monster known as Hook. Dun, dun, dun. What'd you find out?
Okay, so the Never After series is a collection of complete standalones inspired by different villains. They are dark romances intended for adult audiences and contain mature subject matter not suitable for everyone. Reader discretion is advised. Okay, so I will say Scarred is the second book.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what it is a retelling of. Maybe Beauty and the Beast?
Okay, but this one is supposedly the first one.
This is the first one.
Okay.
Wretched is the third one, and it's The Wizard of Oz. And Twisted is the fourth, which came out in February of 2023. So maybe there's going to be more. I don't know. And that one is Aladdin.
So that one's going to be this February. So next year. This next year. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So it's not out yet.
Yeah.
What year is it?
Interesting title, Twisted. I would have felt like Twisted would have been something for like Rapunzel or something like that. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, none of that is important. We are talking about Hook, darn it.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay. So we already kind of discussed, you listened to the audiobook. I read the ebook.
Yes, I will say the audiobook was narrated by Felicity Monroe and Rupert Hawthorne, who is deliciously British sounding. I'm assuming he's actually British. He sounded like it. And
oh yeah, that makes sense because he is British in the book. It does say that multiple times. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's very British in the audio.
It's funny because I just read it as my brain, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I will say Felicity Monroe, and I know I texted you this, and I told somebody else this too because it was just like so nuts. But Felicity Monroe, who is Wendy's voice in the book. So, and then James is Hook. When she does his dialogue, she sounds, for people who've watched Westworld, Thandie Newton's character, Maeve,
you did say
she sounds exactly like Maeve when she's doing, because Wendy is American. So when Felicity Monroe is putting on her British James accent, she sounds like Maeve.
I meant to go listen to the audio too, the sample, just to see if I could tell too. I forgot.
Yeah, if you even get to hear that part, I don't know. But yeah. I should like find I can't play any of it on here. It would be against copyright, but when we get done, I'll try to play it.
Yeah,
so
that's fun. Well, I guess overall, did you enjoy the story?
Yes, I did. I listened to, it was like not even 2 full days that I listened to it. It was really fast. It was a really quick, easy, I don't know what that says about me, read.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I really liked it, which is funny because there's no fantasy. So
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's not really your cup of tea, generally speaking.
No, but I do like dark romance. I do. Dark, steamy romance.
Isn't it? It's so funny. I was thinking about this, I don't know, maybe a couple episodes ago. I feel like you used to love sci-fi and fantasy, like urban fantasy so much. And I feel like you've really like changed courses a lot. Like I know you still like those things, but I remember I used to read all this romance and it was never really your thing. And I know I don't read a ton of dark romance, but I always read like mostly romance. So I'm like, oh man, she's got it more on her bookshelves than I have now.
Well, I mean, I do like dark romance. I feel like, so, okay. For people who read urban fantasy and paranormal romance, you'll understand what I mean when I say I've always liked dark urban fantasy and dark paranormal romance. So like, and I think a lot of paranormal, especially when there's vampires involved, there's a lot of dark paranormal romance. There's a lot of fighting and blood that's involved with like the romance part of things. So
I mean, and let's be clear, most of the time vampires aren't the good guys. So
yeah. So I think I have always liked, I mean, I was so in love with I loved like Buffy. Buffy is my favorite show of all time. Regardless of recent
scandal. Anyway.
Yeah. But I still think the show is amazing and has a lot of value. But I loved Spike forever. And I desperately was in love with Evil Angelus. Oh my gosh. So silly.
I love it.
And like, Vampire Diaries. I loved Damien.
Yeah.
I always liked the bad guy. The dark
Look at you. You're like blushing over there.
Anyway, I am sweaty.
Oh my God. You're so cute. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So I feel like that dark romance, it's the same.
Well, and they make it so easy now because there's so many people writing that genre. It's like it's like you don't even know where to start. It's like
and there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of dark romance. Like 10 years ago, when 12 years ago or 14 years ago, whenever it was that we were first like introducing each other to our favorite books and stuff. Dark romance was very taboo and like not like there was like the only dark romance out there really was like erotic. Like erotica.
I should ask so Kay Webster, she writes a lot of dark she writes a lot of taboo too, but she writes a lot of dark romance. And I should ask her because she has over like 130 books or whatever, 150 books, whatever the hell. Oh my God, she's a freaking writing machine. But I should ask her if she has any dark like just dark romances that she has written, so we can pass them on because I'm sure she has something in that catalog of a gazillion books.
Yeah,
because she writes so many different.
Well, is it most of her stuff dark romance or what is it?
Well, I don't know. Like she does. I wouldn't say a lot of it is. She writes a lot of taboo. She writes some dark romance, but she also I don't know. I feel like is bully. I don't
like so that's the thing. Like I do have a hard line for bully. I don't really.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just like I think for me, I don't know where the line is drawn, but
it's a difficult line to see.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Like I would definitely not call Hooked bully romance at all.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask her. That's funny though. I just feel like she's got to have some good ones. I've enjoyed every book that I've read, and she has so many that I've never even heard of.
That was hers that we read. I loved that last. I would call that
with the triplets, right?
Yeah, that was and that was dark. I would call that dark romance. And was it reverse harem also?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like a big fan of that.
The second one already came out too. If you wanted to keep.
I should. But I think the first one of hers we read was a bully romance.
Yeah.
Which was harder for me to.
Yeah.
It just upsets my stomach.
Yeah. Well, I can see that's an anxiety thing. Yeah. No, I get it. It's not for everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see if she has any cool ones. I mean, she wrote, what did she write? Like, now this is all about Killers, sorry. But I was telling her, I was like, girl, I was looking at your stuff, and she also wrote like historical romance. I'm like, you wrote historical romance? Like, what? I need to read this. Yeah. So I'm just telling you, like, she has so much shit that we don't even know about. Yeah. I've got to ask her. Anyway,
what was that? On. But what was the book though? Triple Threat? Is that what it was?
Triple Threat, yeah.
Triple Threat, yeah. I recommend that if you like.
And then I think the second one was and Death Wish.
We did interview her for Triple Threat.
Yeah.
On this podcast, and I don't know what episode it was, but it was in season 1.
Yeah.
Near the end of season 1.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually interviewed her a couple times, but yeah, this one was at the end. Yeah. Oh, she was our very last one.
Was she?
I think she was our very last one. Yeah. So just look at the last one for for season 1. Yeah. She's fun. Good old Chrissy. Okay.
No, it wasn't her. She's episode 49.
Oh, well, we have like
the last 52. Episode 53. Jennifer Probst.
Oh,
it was a great book, by the way.
Oh my god, we had some really good ones at the end.
We did.
Oh my gosh. We had so many cool people on the show last season. We had so many big names too. It was they were all so down to earth and so fun.
Yeah. I think Triple Threat was one of my favorites.
See, look at you surprising me, man. I don't know. I love it. Here, I thought I've known you all these 10 plus years. I also
wrong. Really liked To Sir with Love. I love that little romantic comedy. That was so good.
Hands down. I want them to. It's like a You Got Me. I want them to make it into
totally
movie.
You Got Mail. It was so cute.
Oh my god, we are so off topic. It's disgusting.
I know.
But we're reminiscing. Is this what happens when we only talk to each other on these? We're like, I know. Back in the old days.
I know. I feel like we just had a meeting and we have been talking a lot.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, we don't care about each other. Let's talk about the good old days.
Oh man.
Well, we'll have to sprinkle in some guest appearances then, just for funsies, at least for this season. Okay, back to the book. Okay, I have to be very honest with everybody. I read this like 2 weeks ago, so I'm really stretching
and like
here.
I said, I read it really fast, and it was like at least a week ago. So my brain doesn't retain information very well. I try to like hold out as long as possible and to like make it so I finish like a day or two before we record.
Yeah, it never works that way for me either. Okay, so you enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Was it what you expected?
No, it was not at all what I expected.
Okay, so explain that.
Okay, now I understand very clearly why. Sorry, I'm mouse clicking. People, why it says she has this disclaimer on here, and I'm going to read it. It says these are fractured fairy tales. They are not retellings, and they are not fantasy. Because I totally thought it was a fantasy.
Yeah.
Book, and so like a dark fantasy romance. So and it was very dark, but it was not fantasy at all. It was like
it's very dark contemporary
romance. Yeah, but I loved it anyway. I mean, it was like more like crime,
like more mafia vibes than anything.
And mafia is not usually my thing when we've read. I mean,
I know,
but I liked it a lot. I really loved James's character. He was so vivid in my head, not like as any specific actor, but just him as a character,
like and his
like
tics and like
and his mannerisms and like him, how he would like lose his shit, and I could just picture his hair like in his face, and he's just like heaving, and then he just like off switch, and he's just like smooths his hair back, and he's just like cool, calm, collected again. It was
Christian Bale style.
Yes, exactly. American Psycho. That's who it was.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was perfect.
That's so funny. I mean, I think as far as what I expected, I didn't really have any expectations. I knew that, I mean, I had read that disclaimer, so I knew that it wasn't going to be fantasy or anything. I wasn't really sure what she meant by it's not a retelling.
Yeah.
But like it's called Hooked and it's based on a fairy tale. I guess I don't really understand the difference.
Yeah, I don't really understand the difference either. But I will say for listeners, basically, she just like picked or used some elements from the Peter Pan fairy tale, which again is not like a favorite of mine at all by any means. I don't even like Peter Pan, like the character. I don't like Peter Pan, the character. I always felt like he was the bad guy, like in the Disney movie. He just was like a little,
ratty boy.
Yes, he was just he was so like snotty. But yeah, so there's like things like so Peter, what is his last name?
Darling.
No. Oh yeah, because she's Wendy Darling. So Peter is her dad, Wendy is the daughter, so John is her brother.
I mean, there's a ton of time. I mean, we could let
there's it's full of Easter eggs is basically what it is.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're enemies.
Yeah, so they call him Hook because of how he kills people with his knife. They call even his adoptive, we'll call him his adoptive father. They call instead of Rufio, it was Rue.
And then they have his uncle was Croc.
Yeah.
And he had the clock or the watch.
Yeah, the watch. He had this thing. He hated watches based on, how he was raised and abused as a child. Mm-hmm. All the names, Michael, Peter, Wendy, they all are in there. Mm-hmm. They're all very kind of twistedly interwoven into the story, which is really interesting. Moira. Mm-hmm. So Tink, like all these, I mean, they're pretty much any sort of flagship or any sort of like term you would associate with Peter Pan. I feel like Tiger Lily, all those things mm-hmm. are in that. That's the name of the boat, the yacht that he lives on. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's a ton of tie-ins.
And what the Jolly Roger is the bar
that he owns. Yeah. So Smee is a character. I mean, there's just So, anyways, you can't. It's impossible not to see the tie-in. But yeah, it's definitely, like you said, not fantasy. It's very contemporary, kind of more of like a mafia, like crime world story. Billionaires, millionaires, whatever you call them. But yeah, so
there's no like eternally young snotty boy.
Yeah, I actually think that was one of the things I liked best about this story was the really clever way that she tied all of those aspects into the story. It was so smart. I wish we could have her on the show because I would want to pick her brain about how she figured out, like what made you decide that you were going to call the yacht Tiger Lily? Like, why didn't you make Tiger like into a different character, or like, why was it the yacht? Like all these different things. Be really interesting to know like how and why she decided to do very specific things. And what I also thought was really interesting was Wendy's father. He was known to, I mean, he was famous for his airplanes called Neverland.
Was it Neverland?
No, Never Air. I don't know what it was. I don't have it. But it just really, it's all very, very clever.
Yeah, it was.
So, I really liked that about it a lot. That was probably my favorite thing. Yeah. Was there anything, I'm asking this because I've found something very specific about her writing, but was there anything about the way that she wrote that like stuck with you, or that like was in your mind, or that you noticed when you were reading through the story?
No, but I listened, so that might make a difference. I'm curious what you say though.
So, and this is the writer in me. This isn't the reader.
I will say, wait, she did have, I don't know what you're going to say.
Right.
But I did notice that she had, not to be like super nitpicky, but she did have some misplaced modifiers. It's not what I know me.
I do. You're the one that corrects mine. Misplaced modifiers. Yeah, so I'm like, that's definitely not.
I feel like I'm like, this is a misplaced modifier.
Yeah. And every time you put that, I'm like, that makes sense. And then I'm going to forget that next time. Like that.
I always feel so annoying too. But
Okay.
I hear it in I've been hearing it a lot in the Hollows also. And I'm like, seriously, editors? Really? Like, I know this went through like 4 editors. None of you could pick this up.
No, I think the thing with me, and I was highlighting them and then I just stopped because there were so many. I like after 30 and like 2 or 3 chapters, I was like, I can't even. She has so many similes and metaphors and analogies that like everything is compared to something. And they're all, don't get me wrong.
I did not notice that at all.
They're actually really good. I'm like, God, that's really smart. But I'm like, okay, I'm saying that every other line. Like this is kind of ridiculous. Like this is a lot of comparisons.
I'm curious.
So, I wish I should have been prepared. I should have pulled them up. Like I said, they were really, it's not like there was anything like that they were bad. They were really smart. And I was like, oh my God, that's a really cool like analogy. But I'm like, okay, that's like the 100th analogy that I read in this thing. So anyway, I think I actually deleted it from my Kindle already. Yeah, that sucks. But anyway, so that was the one thing that it totally stuck out to me. And I think it's just because I'm very aware in my own writing. Like I don't overuse, really try, we know this, right? We do this with each other. We try not to overuse things. And so.
I know my writing was way more like flowery and figurative in my first book, I feel like.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, get to the point.
Yeah. Well, and I think it all, like there's a mood too, anyway, but yeah, so, and it's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing. I think it's just the way, like my preference, like I'm so aware in my own writing of these things, right? Or, using the same word over and over again. I catch that stuff all the time in other people's writing, not in my own so much because I try so hard and I just read the same thing 17 times, but so I don't catch it, but like, it's just one of those things where I do notice it in other people. So anyway.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, overall, like I think it was well written and everything. I'm not trying to like, talk shit or anything. It's just something that it stuck with me. And I was just like, oh my God, I wonder if Lindsey is noticing any of this. Okay. So I was curious, like, I know you liked James / Hook. What did you think about Wendy's character? So, and just to be clear, so in this story, James, as it states in the description, he wants revenge on Peter. And so he's going to get to him the only way that he knows how, and that's through his daughter, Wendy. And so they happen to meet at his bar one night and everything kind of unravels from there. But so, it's a romance. I'm sure everybody can imagine what happens. But in general, what did you have any feelings, strong or not at all, about Wendy's character? Did you like her? Did you not like her? I'm just curious.
I don't know that I had like a ton of feelings about her one way or the other. She was a character. She was very naive. I didn't dislike her by any means. I thought she had nice transformation. I liked the way that she fit with James in his like twisted needs.
Yeah, that was well written.
Yeah. And I don't know, she was kind of a conundrum. Like once I saw this question, I started thinking about it more. Like, so she's I don't know, she's probably a billionaire's daughter, but she works at a coffee shop. She's a virgin. She just turned 21 in the book. But she has the freedom to work at a coffee shop. So I am surprised that she, I don't know, most like billionaire rich kids, they're out living it up. It seems like in all the movies and TV shows, at least.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't, and it's not like her dad was ever around. So I didn't.
She could have been getting crazy.
Yeah, I didn't understand her extreme shelteredness. When her dad was so absent, I guess, other than the fact that she kind of had to be the mom for her brother.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why I asked it, is because I was thinking about how dynamic a lot of the characters were, and she was kind of like a nothing. Like she's very generic and kind of I wouldn't say a wet blanket, but she also didn't leave any sort of impression other than
didn't seem
very naive, like you said.
She didn't seem like a product of her circumstance, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like she was the character that the story needed, but she also had a background that was slightly contradictory to the character that she was. I felt like maybe.
Yeah. There were a couple times when her character was like, it was very obvious that something was amiss, and she would think to herself, I should ask about this. Oh, but I won't. And I'm sitting there going, well, that's very convenient for the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Why did he just lie? I don't know, but I'm not going to ask him, because then, then
I will. I mean, I will say, so like there was a very big misunderstanding that caused the main conflict, or part of the main conflict between these two characters. And it was just like, I was like frustrated with both of them, with James for believing that she was in on her dad's plan without any actual evidence or proof. Right. Just this very vague stretch of an assumption. And then all of a sudden he was absolutely certain, and he imprisons her and starts torturing her. Yeah. I know. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But that it did fit with his personality of his flips a switch.
I think that was all really well written. Yeah. Actually, I think that it did work. And then I kept thinking, I feel like it should be like, duh, you're dumb. All of a sudden you're changing your mind, and now you're going to take her to a fancy dinner where her dad's going to be. And but I was like, it all worked out well. Like the author did a really good job with that. Yeah, the dad, he's just stupid. I just want to slap him like through the whole book.
He was awful.
Yeah, he's stupid. Those are my big author words. He's stupid.
He's a big dummy.
Anyway, so John is her younger brother, and you see him throughout the story kind of getting the brunt end of everything. The dad neglects him. He's sent off to boarding school, and you see like this really sweet kid who doesn't want his sister to worry about him. I don't know. How old is he supposed to be? Like 12 or something? I can't remember.
I think he's in high school.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so maybe like 15
or something. Yeah. So there's a twist with him at the end. Did you see that coming with his
I did not
parentage?
No, I didn't. But I mean, she gave us lots of clues, so maybe I should have. Did you?
I didn't. That's why I was curious. Because the dad just neglects him 100%.
Yeah, and Wendy flat out, and he's like, "You are my number one priority, and I love you so much," or whatever. And she's like, "And John," and he's like,
"Oh yeah, and that guy, and that kid."
Yeah.
But the dad was also weird, because like he kept saying that, like, you're my number one priority, but he would blow her off and he never would see her. So I'm like, yeah, no, you're.
Yeah, I think maybe that was part of what, like, about her kind of like unbelievable naivete of like, why? And she does transform and kind of outgrows it very much by the end. But it's just like, why still? Why are you still? Like, it seems like this has been going on for a very long time, and you still are like, I don't know. I will say, maybe it was the first chapter. I don't know. Somewhere at the beginning of the book, Wendy's character, it's probably her first chapter. It's talking about how she moved to Massachusetts or whatever. Where are they?
I don't know. Boston. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was 7
with her because her family moved there, and I was like, that's weird. Why would you're an adult, and so your family moved, and now you're moving with them. Like, don't you have a life or wherever you are? So anyway, and then it made more sense because it was a wealthy family, which is a different situation, and the brother doesn't have anyone to take care of him. But I really liked the dynamic between him and James too. I really liked that a lot, which actually makes sense later, but yeah.
Okay, so I know that I completed this question when I sent it to you, but it's not completed on my end. So was there anything that you didn't? I'm assuming maybe. I don't know what the question was.
Anything you didn't see coming?
I would say no, because I already asked that about the John thing. It just says things you didn't really, and that's where my question
Oh,
is
I
on
don't
my
have
side.
that. I have, did you see the twist about John coming and then anything you didn't see coming?
Okay, that might have been it. Sure, let's just do that. What do you
I mean,
think?
other than what is coming up in the next question, nothing that I can think of.
Okay, so there was one thing that I thought was kind of
I totally predicted that the old man was going to die.
okay, so I did as well. And I think the thing that I think where I was going with this question, because I answered it, I just didn't ask myself. I have the answer.
The mystery question.
I don't know the mystery question, but I know the answer to the question. And that was
this is Jeopardy.
So this is right. So it kind of bugged me because they tried to make Rue like this really like that's his like that's James's kind of adoptive father or whatever. He kind of took him in when he was young. And he's the one who's supposed to be this big shot who's running the underground, and he's like running drugs and, you know, has all this money and all these clubs and all these businesses, and he owns half the town, and you know, everyone's loyal to him and blah, 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 blah. And then he just randomly dies off page. And then that's all. Like, I feel like if he's supposed to be some big wig, then I feel like that was kind of a cop-out death in a way. Like, it happened way too easy. It happened off page, and like I knew it needed to happen, obviously.
And there were no ripples.
Yeah, so we needed to. I mean, we knew what James needed to react to, right? Like something that was going to drive him over the edge, and that was going to be his only family that he ever had, essentially dying. So that all made sense. But the way that it was written and the way that it was carried out, I was just like, it did not feel either well thought out, or it felt like anticlimactic, or, you know, I don't know.
Another question, which James learns that Rue went by himself after telling James that he was going to take someone. Why did he go by himself?
He's like let's just, for lack of a better term, he's like the mob boss, and he's just going to go like to this really sketchy. They made it very clear from the very beginning, all the mishaps and stuff with this meeting, a sketchy meeting, and he's going to go alone. It just didn't mesh well for me.
Yeah.
So anyway. Interesting.
Convenient.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we move on. Okay. So back to the twist. Did we see it coming? So Moira, we know, we're talking about how, you know, earlier about how the author was really smart and how she weaved in characters and names from the original story. Excuse me. So Moira works at the club that burns down. She's James. He's a booty call for James. Yeah, essentially.
But she wants more.
Yeah. And then there's Smee, who is the guy who essentially kind of tends to his yacht and is this guy that he took in as a child, right? Or as like, not as a child, but maybe as a teenager.
Like a street kid or something.
Yeah. Took him in, kind of like raised him as his own. He's his most loyal person that works for him. We already know how that ends. Yeah. But anyway, so that was I definitely knew. Moira did surprise me a little bit.
Moira, I was expecting maybe the narrator.
To me, from the very beginning, I knew for a fact. I knew the first moment I met him. I was like, I already know what this guy's gonna be. He's Bad News Bears.
No, Smee, I didn't pick up on that until when James brought Wendy back as his prisoner, and then Smee was acting weird to me, and like letting her out when he unlocked the door. Yeah. And James was like, the door was not unlocked. I was like, okay, something weird's going on. But I thought he was working. I thought both he and Moira were working for Peter. I didn't see Smee as an attempted boss /
I have to admit, I didn't know like who he, like, I knew he was bad. I knew that he was probably like way higher up, like probably the brains, but I didn't know that he was the Croc, right? That's what they called him.
Yeah, he was Croc's son.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. I think for me, the author did a really good job of kept talking about Tink and Tina and the whole making her look like the bad guy, who is actually Wendy's father's coworker / probably fuck buddy. I don't actually
know. It was she was his executive assistant or something.
Yeah, but she was everywhere and she was
they were
giving
like
her
going
opinions
out to dinner and
But anyway, I guess I kept thinking they were more involved. Her and Peter were more involved than they were. And I didn't expect Moira. I actually expected the henchmen, the guys. I don't remember their names, but the ones
twins?
who were. Yeah, I expected them to actually be the bad guys, really, out of between all of them.
I loved that they were just like always there when James loses his shit. And
they're like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and they're just always there.
Yeah, and he's just like murdering people.
And then he's like, clean up my mess. And he like walks away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh,
I don't think their loyalty was ever questioned, was it?
No, but I think that's why I was like, oh, they have to be guilty. He's not even questioning it. Like, there's no way. Like, it has to be them. But yeah, no. So good job there. Okay, so things that you really loved about the book.
James. I just loved James.
Yeah, I put we already mentioned it, but I really liked how she wove in like all the character and just really kind of reworked an old story and used it in a way that I thought was really clever. So all the naming and how she associated past characters and whatever. So
it was really well done.
And I wouldn't say like you, it's not one of my favorites. So I'm not like super familiar with the story. So I bet you there's things I didn't even catch. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Like, yeah.
Oh, and then we didn't even talk about the pixie dust, which is like the drug that they're all running the whole time. That was clever too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, anything else? Just James. Just
James.
Lickable James.
I just really liked James. It was a great character. Like,
his background was like just sordid and horrible enough to like make it all make sense and give him like an out for being so horrible. And
I mean, he's straight up like tortures and murders a guy for being rude to Wendy.
Yeah.
On page.
But nobody cares because it's James.
I still like him.
I mean, his very first scene is him killing his uncle.
His uncle.
Who is it his uncle? Yeah.
Yeah, it's his uncle who raped him and beat him and was terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so then do you foresee yourself reading any more books in the series?
Maybe. I could see myself doing it.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the Wizard of Oz one.
That one's which one? Twisted? No, what was that one?
The third one, Wretched. Yeah. So I don't know what Scarred is. I want to find out what the retelling is. That's the only one that we don't know.
That's cool though.
I wonder why she chose Peter Pan for her first one. She really likes Peter Pan.
Well, that idea might have just been really vivid, like just really in her mind, Yeah. I can see that.
Is anybody?
It's really creative.
Lion King. Oh.
What the heck? Now I kind of want to read it just because I'm curious.
How does that work?
The name makes sense for that one. Scarred.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, I don't know if I'll read more. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but it's not on my like list of must reads either. So
yeah,
I think it's kind of like up there with like the Bridgerton. Like I kind of want to read the next ones. We were talking about this last time, but it's not like I've downloaded all of them. Like I'm super like gung ho to read all of them next, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think I will read Wretched. Because
you're gearing up for I know why.
Next year I'm writing I'll be releasing season 2 for the podcast of All Worlds Online first before I release the book, but I am planning on recording and releasing the season 2 of the podcast, which is The Wizard of Oz. So I'm really curious to see how she put a dark contemporary romance spin on The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Because I've been having all these ideas for what I'm going to be doing with my spin on The Wizard of Oz, which is admittedly very different because it's lit RPG. So, but yeah, I'm really curious. I can almost guarantee at this point that I'm going to read it.
Cool.
And also The Wizard of Oz is like my all-time favorite.
Yeah, hence why you're writing about it. Yeah. Makes sense.
I want someone to do like this version of Jane Austen's novels.
The dark ones?
Dark contemporary Jane Austen.
Oh, maybe that's why I need my pen name.
Yes, do it. Please do it.
Oh my God, I've never written a darker romance in my life. It's all right. I guess I could give it a whirl. Okay, so anything else before we depart from this?
Are we departing?
We're departing. It's past 9 o'clock. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you didn't sound like her at all, but you totally reminded me of
Jennifer Coolidge. I know. It's because I don't have a good English accent.
A pumpkin.
A pumpkin.
Oh man.
I think
yeah.
She's like scarred into my brain. I'll probably, anytime I ever try and do an accent, it will sound like her regardless of what I'm actually trying to say, I think.
Tally ho.
Tally ho.
Yeah, I can't even sound like her. But you do it really good.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, I think I can safely say that is it for this episode then. Thank you for listening, everyone. Don't forget to check out the show notes, this episode's links, and book recs. We did have a couple, and we'll be back in a couple weeks to chat about the book to screen adaptation of The Devil Wears Prada.
I'm so excited about this one.
By Lauren Weisberger. I hope I'm saying that right. So we're going to be watching the movie and also reading the book. So we'll talk about that. I do have to say that this is another one of those instances where I'm really interested to see what we think, because a lot of people don't like the book because they watched the movie first.
I'm really curious too, because I love the movie.
Oh God, I feel so bad for authors when this happens, because it's like, I wrote the book first. It's no fair, you know.
The movie wouldn't exist without the book.
I know. I just have to say, because I was looking, the very first review that popped up when I looked at the book was, I wrote it
not
down
as good
so
as
that we
the
could
movie.
read it. Oh no, it flat out said, "Love the film, hated," in all caps, the book.
I will say, I mean, the movie has an amazing cast. If you think about who's in it.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about it. We have no idea. We haven't read it yet.
I know. I'm so curious.
So we'll see how that goes. I have the audiobook downloaded, so I'm excited about that. But in the meantime, if you enjoy the show, please leave us a review wherever you listen, and be sure to join the No Shelf Control Facebook group. And everybody, until next time, happy reading adventures. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, which is a lot of things, but also have fun. And we love you.